Sony's 2024 TV releases have officially begun. Today we take a look at the Sony Bravia 7. Up next.
I've seen things most people wouldn't believe.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me as we take a look at the Sony Bravia 7. Now, I saw the Bravia 7, the Bravia 8, Bravia 9, and Bravia 3 at the global launch event in LA. Life-changing event for me as a creator. However, I didn't really have hands-on time with it to go through the settings or see real material or gaming on it. You will see that in today's video. Now, this is still just a first look as I will revisit the Bravia 7 again in 65, 75, and 85 for a full review. Robert Zone at Value Electronics had the Bravia 7 about 3 weeks early, so this is still just a first look. But without further ado, let's check out the Sony Bravia 7. Thank you so much for watching. All right, guys, let's do it. Sony Bravia 7, 65 inches. It was unboxed about an hour before I arrived. Quick look at the new Bravia Quad. Plastic still on it. No break-in period at all. Take a look at the side, silver bezel on the outside. We do have the narrow position now. There are 4 positions. There is wide, narrow, flush, and high to make room for the sound bar, which we'll also see shortly in the Bravia 9. Bravia 7 is mini LED. It is the replacement for last year's excellent Sony X93L. However, the X93L did lack XR Clear. Big difference in the 2023 lineup. All of the new 2024 TVs do have XR Clear, and the ones that are carrying over, the Sony X90L and the Sony A95L QD OLED, both have XR Clear. XR Clear is responsible for all the amazing processing and upscaling that Sony is known for. That is their signature, other than a natural look. Accuracy. Filmmaker's intent, though that moniker has changed to Bravia is bringing cinema home. Detachable power cable. There's a look at the flush stand in the narrow position that can be raised. Same with the outer position, which can also be raised to make room for that soundbar. Come back to the inputs. The reason why I want to show you, other than the 4 HDMI inputs to our HDMI 2.1 full bandwidth, is that center sync plug, which you can use for the acoustic part of the audio for either the Bravia 9 or the new Quad. I like the design. You're going to see it look a little more thick because it is mini LED. Quick look at the remote, little blue teal speckles on it. We have a couple new buttons, Crunchyroll and the YouTube button. It is not backlit. Typically that is reserved for the top of the line, which I'm sure you'll see with the Bravia 9. Again, 2 positions. You go out wide, up high. I like it flush personally. And there is probably the remote you can expect to see with the Bravia 9. That is from last year's A95L. Now we're in a very, very bright room. This is at Value Electronics. Special shout out to Robert and Wendy Zone at Value Electronics. Please consider making your next AV purchase through them. Check the description below for all their information. Let them know that Brian at Brian's Tech Therapy sent you. Now I skipped the unboxing. I'll revisit the unboxing when we do the 85-inch. Typically a TV of this caliber, whether it was the X95J, K, L, X93, we did all those at 85 inches. As I remove the plastic for you, why does that matter? For me, viewing angle is important, and obviously in a 65-inch, that's going to be a little bit different. Typically, I'll review the X90 series at 65. The TV is very bright. Right now, by default, the light sensor is on. That will be disabled as the content begins. There is a global eco mode. This TV is very, very bright. Without measuring it, I do feel it's brighter than both the X93L and X95L from last year. Even with the light sensor on, eco mode enabled, it still looks fantastic even in this bright room. Just quickly showing you the environment that I'm in within the showroom. You'll see the light change throughout the video, but again, even with these modes enabled, the TV is very, very bright. We'll quickly go through as we pause this demo to show you what the different presets look like. I do feel this is very important from whenever we are showing anything in regards to TVs. Whether it's professional, which is their most accurate preset, or cinema, I'm more interested in showing you every preset and what the TV can do. Something that I call flexibility of image. You have vivid, standard, cinema, professional, calm. Now, professional takes place of custom. As you're seeing, the dashboard and UI is similar to last year's Sony A95L, which is being carried over. I do consider the A95L to basically be a 2024 TV anyway, as it released very late in the year. You have the same UI here on the Bravia 7. The HDR impact is evident. It is very accurate regardless of whatever preset you're in. The beauty of Sony TVs, their signature is even if you are in the more saturated presets, be it standard, vivid, they still have an accuracy to them. Even with live color enabled, you can make it look very saturated and very vivid, but it never really loses that ability to still look good. So having that flexibility of image to make the image look how you like, to me, is most important. And we'll go through a bunch of those presets throughout this video. We will not stay just in professional. Although it will be hard to tell because it does look good in all of the presets. I will tell you the TV again is extremely bright, kind of hard to capture it in this room. You'll see me try to change the exposure to compensate for how bright it is, wreaking havoc on my camera throughout. I'm often asked about three-dimensionality, and definitely the Bravia 7 has that. I'm glad to see that this year we do have a 65 and a 75 and an 85, where years past, though the X93L had that, this year even the Bravia 9 will have all those sizes. We're going to move into our first challenging demo, and these are all about transitions. As we go light to dark, the shadows, the local dimming is very good. I will go off angle shortly to show you where I believe the local dimming is limited. Again, we are in a large room, 65 inches. Now, I watched a few movies before it got dark, couldn't shoot it the entire time in a bright room, but you saw its bright room performance. Local dimming is very good, dead on. What are your thoughts on Sony? What are your thoughts on the signature? We moved into a quick SDR demo. There were no differences in brightness. It didn't go down in brightness at all in SDR. Now with Sony, difference in as far as minimalizing their titles, Bravia 7, 8, 9, and the 3. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the X90L, very popular from last year, carrying over? And the A95L Quantum Dot OLED. To me, the Bravia 9, which I cannot wait to see and have hands-on with, is the true flagship of the entire lineup. But I do think the Bravia 7, due to its cost, is going to be very popular for many of you. The X93 last year, very successful, gorgeous TV. I think in some ways was actually even a little bit better than the Bravia, I should say the X95 in some ways. In my direct comparison, the X93 didn't have as aggressive local dimming, but without XR Clear, it put it in a weird spot. And that's where the Bravia 7 will be its most valuable, is offering that value, high-end over the X90L, but having XR clear processing. Checking out the local dimming in action, different transitions. We are also in different presets. We are not just going to stay in calm or professional. Actually, I'll only show you calm briefly, which is a pretty cool preset. You're seeing some blooming around the edges. And this is even in a brighter preset, but it does handle the transitions very well. Keep in mind though, we are dead center. A little bit later in the video, we will show you black bars in transition off to the side to show you how it looks. As far as dead center, I'm happy with the black levels. Again, for TV, so bright. Now, why do I mention that this is just a first look? Having the Bravia 7 about 3 weeks early, I want to wait until its real official launch to see if it's going to take anything in regards to updates. No updates out of the box. We saw the performance of last year's A95L change drastically 3 weeks after launch, as our good friend Stop the FOMO had it about 3 weeks early. This is why it's just a first look, though I'd also deem it irresponsible to do a full review in a single day. Now we're really going to test the local dimming in regards to black bars. We are here dead center, wide aspect ratio. Moving through the presets, vivid, standard, even the more aggressive ones, we're going to stay dead center for now, and then we're going to get up and wander around the display and see how the viewing angles are. Any mini LED is going to have elevated black bars off angle. How far can we go before they turn lighter? Picking up the camera, moving over to the side, have to be basically over to the side of the TV to get them to light up a bit. And then way off angle, you can see them there. As we move back slowly, you can see without changing the exposure, they virtually disappear. This is my favorite demo from our good friend Jennifer Gala and her second channel, HCR Super Channel. Shout out to Jen. Check the description below for links to Jen's channel. Get the camera back set up and then go through the presets once again to show you how they perform with the brighter and more accurate presets. I actually like the calm preset. Professional is actually pretty bright for being accurate. But when viewing a mini LED, the black bars is very important. 65-inch, the viewing angle, of course, isn't as wide as a larger TV, but I'm very happy with the local dimming. Again, moving off angle. There you go. Have to be up and over to actually see them suffer. Now I'm going to move through the menus while I'm off angle to see how they perform. That's really pushing it hard and then moving back to the center. And again, they disappear. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think on the Bravia 9, you'll see it perform much better, but right there in the center, nothing. So very happy with that performance from the local dimming. For my Vivid fans, never forget those of you that love Vivid. We'll start off with Calm, which is actually pretty nice. Moving into Cinema, Standard, and then Vivid. We will leave it in Vivid. Now, I wasn't able to check a new genre choice from Prime. It's not the Netflix calibrated, it's actually from Prime, where they choose the right preset for whatever you're watching. We saw it demoed. I wasn't able to try it here. And even if I was, I wouldn't be able to film it for you, but I think it's a very cool addition to what Sony's doing this year. You're in sports, it'll put it in sports, and then it's a calibrated mode for each type of film and or content. Very interesting. That you will have to use the onboard app, so will not work through a streaming device. Looks very good in Vivid. Now we're actually going to stay in Standard for this other demo from Jen. This is very difficult on the local dim. You can see where it lights up. This is not easy at all, but it does perform very well. And I expect the Bravia 9, which was considered the prototype, to have superior local dimming to anything out there. Different technology and comparable to the reference monitor. Now in these shots, this is where I think the Sony Bravia 7 really shines. Colorful, bright, accurate. Again, from our good friend Jennifer Gala, her content is off the charts. Three-dimensionality from XR Clear literally jumps off the screen. And I'm not even in a 100% dark room yet. That's the challenge with filming at Value Electronics, is they have this beautiful store, super bright, but if I bring the TV into the back, then it's completely dark and you can't see the TV at all. You can see the lights behind me. I have the drapes drawn and it's pretty late at this point at night. I will pause at this shot. I love this shot here. Looks amazing on very high-end mini LEDs and OLEDs. And we'll go through the presets yet again to see how different each preset looks. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't want to adhere to only one group. I like how different the TVs can look. And I do believe the processing that is in each preset is important for just about anybody out there. TV ships in standard. But I want to show you how the image changes as we go through each preset. Flexibility of image, as I've said a few times in the video, again going through Jen's material, showing you how different the image can look. If you like Vivid, that's why I said Vivid fans, I am not here to judge you. It's your TV, do what you want with it, watch it how you like. Now I like this next demo as it's just the color wheel showing you all the different colors and the transitions. Love the accuracy, love how color is represented on Sony, even enabling live color and having a lot of that processing here. Still love how it looks, though I believe we are in professional in this demo and live color is actually disabled here. I will then move into standard and re-enable it for the next demo, not the pizza demo. And also, this is a tough demo coming up here with the local dimming as the flashes start, fast transitions, handles it very well. These are stunning. But again, three-dimensionality jumping off the screen. Now, as far as low bitrate content, a lot of people ask me, why don't you put something low bitrate on the screen? Well, XR Clear will actually, if I try to pause something of a lower resolution, it's not going to do anything. It needs to be playing. And even taking these demos down to standard definition really doesn't convey what the processing is. But Sony's upscaling is the best in the business. It's what they have been known for many, many years. And XR Clear, starting last year, is on another level. The same processor as last year. It is retooled. But it's the clarity. That's really what they're known for. And as I mentioned earlier, even going into those more aggressive presets, those more saturated presets, it still looks accurate, still looks amazing. Now we finish up this part before we get into gaming. I let this demo run on standard with live color enabled, black adjust enabled, and just sat there and stared at it. Now, what I saw from the Bravia 7 in LA versus a competitor was about depth. Something the competitor mini LED next to it didn't have. It was just flat, bright. It didn't have the depth that the Bravia 7 had. That's XR Clear. And it is evident in this demo. It's the depth, the brightness, the contrast, the detail. I cannot wait to see the 75 and 85. It was amazing spending this much time with the Bravia 7, again, starting in a very bright room and transitioning to a darker room. Now we're going to move into some gaming, and you'll see me go through the gaming presets and settings. Moving into gaming on the Bravia 7, we have the PlayStation 5 Tekken 8. Now, if you disconnect it, the picture will optimize for you, yet you will still have to go into enhanced HDMI ports, or inputs, I should say, and then change those, or you'll be at 1080p. Now, 4K 120. And the game mode looks very good. I do think it's an improvement over last year's X95 and X93. I will show you the game bar momentarily as we are in Horizon Forbidden West. The TV is very bright. I will have to lower the exposure to be able to show you the settings. It's blindingly bright, but looks phenomenal. I was very happy with the game mode, especially this year. They introduced the game bar last year and then also updated panels from the K series the year before. Now we will do a gaming-centric video when I review the 85-inch. We have the crosshairs, we have black equalizer. We've shown a lot of that from Sony in the past, but I do want to go through the gaming preset itself as far as the different abilities to change the image. That flicker is just my camera to lower the exposure to try and capture the menu. What I do like is that brightness preferred, gradation preferred, and tone mapping off are all visible. At times in the past, when you would do that with a Sony Mini LED, you wouldn't see much change. Brightness preferred, gradation preferred do look different in person. Times in the past, they wouldn't look different at all. Black equalizer raises the black so you can see in dark areas. The key thing for Sony when it comes to gaming is flexibility of image tends to be lost in game mode. I'm happy to report that live color is effective. It does look different. I'd like to see it look more different. Any kind of processing does add lag, so the game modes are typically stuck to being what they are. They're very hard to change. I do want to see flexibility of image. Reality creation is one of the biggest strengths for Sony TVs. What I noticed with last year's XR Clear was the ability to really push reality creation without excessive noise. Typically, reality creation sharpens the image, make things look more impactful and cleaner. Push it too hard, it'll create noise. You're seeing me go from auto to manual and ramp it up. What you're looking for on the tree is to lower the exposure. Is how does the noise on the bark, does it increase or decrease? You can actually push it pretty high. You're looking in that area. Even manual at 20, 30 is welcome. It's a way to kind of have an anti-aliasing built within Sony, and Sony's one of the other companies or few companies that allows smooth gradation in gaming. Again, that flicker is just my camera. That is not visible in person. But very happy with the game mode overall. Again, extremely bright, HDR, very impactful. Moving into Street Fighter. Very colorful. Again, I've seen this game on many displays in the last year. Again, very happy with the game mode. Having the 3 presets is very welcomed. Each can be customized and saved. Now, going back to reality creation, what I like this year and last year versus years past, as I mentioned with XR Clear, is you can go way over 20, 30 per game, cleaning up the image, especially something like Street Fighter. Anything you see with a soft image will definitely help. Moving into Ghost of Tsushima, it is a darker game. I'm lowering the exposure here to show you what I see. The flames pop. Camera's clipping, it's having a hard time. Again, the TV is very, very bright. I mentioned where I think Sony's lagging behind in terms of gaming. However, the game mode itself looks gorgeous, and you can game on PC, and we do our gaming video on the next display, would be the Bravia 9 or a larger Bravia 7. We will definitely do PC gaming as well. Very responsive, very quick, looks gorgeous. Moving into Returnal, what I like about this game is back in the day with the Sony TVs, that heads-up display was always haloing as local dimming was not as effective. Local dimming is effective both last year and this year, even more impactful. You don't see haloing around the heads-up display. And moving into this section of Returnal, you'll see me get in front of the ship where the lights are actually blindingly bright. And I'll lower the exposure so you can see the individual lights, which you can actually see in person when you lower it. You see it more evident, but it is very bright, again, blindingly bright. Moving into Dirt, HDR impact is evident. It doesn't look faded. You'll see when we get to the sun in especially the cockpit view when you're inside the car. Beautiful image. So it's not as simple where you look at Sony and say, oh, you know, they're great for movies and streaming, not really for gaming. You can game on them easily. And again, the game mode looks fantastic. And having the additional presets they started with last year with the A95L looks fantastic. Again, any flickering you're seeing is just my camera. But very happy with it. Moving into our last game, which is Days Gone. Trying to show you separate games and different games. Again, I'm going to follow up and show you different gaming from different games. Now, what are your thoughts on where Sony is in regards to gaming? Now, with the changes in presets, you can make the gaming very saturated if you like. However, it does look very accurate. Colors don't bleed all over the place. It doesn't look overly cartoony, even in the different games, even such as something like Street Fighter. It can still look very accurate, and again, you have that flexibility to change that. In closing, what are your thoughts on the Bravia 7? I do feel it is an upgrade over last year's X93L. It is brighter and it has XR clear. I'll have to spend more time with this one and the larger sizes to know if it's better than last year's X95L. I will tell you from seeing it in person and spending time with it, I do feel it's brighter and more vibrant. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this first look of the Sony Bravia 7. Please consider liking and subscribing. Love you guys. Take care.
It's better to burn out than to fade away. There can be only one.